Hey everybody, Scout Crafter here again. Quick story. I guess about 5-6 years ago, when I was looking for a piece of property upstate to get away and to have a little piece of mind, so to speak. I've been looking for a long time, years it took me to find. So I happened to stumble across this by accident, like you did my channel, and this piece of land, and the owners were a couple named Pat and Sue, and they were seniors. Pat's like 80 years old, and Sue's right up there with him, and great people. I mean, we hit it off right from the So when I got the property, not only did I pick up a piece of property, it feels like I picked up a piece of some relatives. I'm so close with them. Every time I go up there, I stop at the bakery and I bring them up some stuff, and it's just they're great. They look out. I remember the first year I didn't have a lawn, riding lawnmower. And Pat would go out and mow the lawn for me, because you have to get up there every week, and sometimes I couldn't. I was working, and they're just great people. So one time we're sitting in the kitchen talking, which every time I go up there, I stay up there for an hour to talk. And we're talking about old times and old things like I love to talk about. And I don't know how it came up to Howdy Doody, and Sue was all upset, and she was yelling at Pat. She's like, "I used to have a nice Howdy Doody marionette, and you got rid of it. Something happened." But she was all upset about that. She was like, she had it since she was a kid. So I made it my mission. I said, I'm going to find one of those old time Howdy Doody puppets, and I'm going to give it. I kept my eye open on eBay, and sure enough, I found one that was a little bit of rough shape, but this is it. This was an original from the same era that she had, and these were marionette, and you can see the jaw would work, and the strings are missing, and it's this one was a little rough, right? It's missing one hand. You see it had this hand. I guess the hand was a little bit oversized compared to the body, as marionettes used to be, and it's missing a foot, and you can see here, see? So it's missing a foot or a boot, and it's missing a hand. And I just wanted to put this in a little display case so that she can hang in a room. And you know how it is when you get older and things spark some memories of years ago. I mean, I got my old G.I. Joes upstairs in a room, and when I walk by there, boy, I tell you, it just takes me right back. Okay? So I'm going to try and fabricate a hand. One of these hands. I'm going to try and fabricate one of these, and a boot. And you can see this boot has a little shaft up there, and I'll just put this in there, and then maybe in a little display case for her. So let's see if we could do that. Now, if I was restoring one and it was an heirloom or something that I wanted to restore, this one's a rough shape. I just want to make it a display, but you could cast this, and then you could pour in some resin or something and make an exact copy. We don't want to do that. We just want to make something that looks from 10 feet away but you can see here the webbing. I don't know if this was a look at the webbing in the hand, how they did it, but this was a carving that they did, and they made molds out of it. Now, whenever you're going to do a copy or something like that, a mold, first thing you got to do is get a block of approximate wood and take two profiles. You got the one side profile and the top profile. Now, the first thing you do is take a piece of scrap wood, you trace a little trace around it, so now that you have the approximate, and then we're going to cut this out. Now, to cut this out today, we're going to use the scroll saw, and the scroll saw is it's a little arm that goes back here, and it basically holds a blade and moves it up and down like that. Scroll saw is cut on the downstroke, so when you put the blade in, you want to make sure it's down, and you got to tighten it up so that you do it almost by ear. Let me show you what that looks like. Now, it's never a good idea to leave your blade tight in the saw, because it just puts wear and tear on the arm, on the blade. It stretches it. So every time you finish with a scroll saw or something, you can either take the blade out, or just back here, this is the tension. This little knob back here puts tension on the blade. So you can hear it. Right now it's loose. And as I turn this to the right, tighten back here, there we go. Now we're going to turn the hand on its side, and then we're going to, you see, using a pencil, we just rough out where we're going to cut around to make the side profile of that same block of wood. Okay, now you see we have basically a rough shape here. of the hand, just from cutting it out, the two dimensions, two sides. And now we're going to go in with some files, the Dremel, and some sand, and then make some of these points come out. And we'll see what that looks like. Again, I'm no carver, but I know that's how it's done. Okay, I'm in the middle of carving this thing. Everything's going pretty good. You know, I'm getting the shape pretty much down, and all of a sudden I realize, guess what? Oh, I just made two left hands. Oh man, do I hate that. Okay, let's start over. Okay, we're on to the foot. This time I had to use a 2x4 because this is a little bit thicker, or 2x3 rather. So that's going to be fun. Okay, what I did is I cut the thumb off of his hand and I glued it on the other side. So we'll see what it looks like when it's all painted. But I mean, it's just supposed to look good when it's hanging in. And here's the boot we made. Boot looks pretty good. And I put the dowel in here. So let all this glue dry, come back, and we'll paint it. Now, to do the painting, you know, there's three primary colors. That is red, yellow, and blue. And for those three colors, you can make hundreds and hundreds of colors, you know. And that's what I did. I just mixed some acrylics up here, and then I kept matching it to the shoe and the hand to try and get the correct color. And here it is. We got it pretty close, so I gave it a quick coat. Now, this is a flat type paint, and then I will give it a clear coat after. Here I am doing the hand. Later on, I wanted to see, I looked on eBay to see what one of these puppets looked like originally. Here you could see the match is pretty good, but I saw that this is the original puppet, and if you look at the feet, he had some kind of gaiters or something, so I had to make those. Okay, now that we're waiting for the glue to set up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and work on the case. Now, years ago when I worked for the bus company, they had these plexiglass, you ever see plexiglass? You know, they had these shields behind the bus driver, you know, so that they wouldn't get pelted. I know, because I drove a bus for 16 years before I went into the shop. So they, but they got rid of them when they put the cages in. See, in New York, we have cages, plexiglass cages around our drivers to keep the animals from ripping them out of the seat and throwing them off the bus. So the funny thing is that when they were throwing these out, I said, man, this is plexiglass, you know, this is good stuff. And me being a monger, I would go in the garbage and grab as many as I could every day. They threw them out. So I'm going to try and make out the case out of one of these and see if we can't manipulate it with some heat. Okay, look at this crazy setup. First of all, we have two vices clamped to the workbench. Okay, one I had to shim up because they're not the same height. But then I took two pieces of angle channel. One is steel, one is aluminum. But I clamped a round dowel in between. And what I did is I marked two lines, 3.5 inches down from the sides. And the line rests directly over here. Now what I'm going to do is take the heat gun, heat this up, try and bend this over, make a radius using that dowel as a radii. I'm not going to try and bend it around this. It's too sharp. And I'm going to see if I can bend that down. So let's see what happens. Now, the key to doing this plexiglass heating is to keep the gun moving. I tended to stop a little bit one corner. I crazed it a little bit, but I learned real quickly. You just keep it moving. I used the board to try and bend it over a little bit to keep it flat, but I didn't really need it. I could do it with my hand. Just to keep it nice and hot. Okay, if you're as surprised as I am that this worked, okay. How cool is that, huh? Okay, that works. So let's finish the box. Okay, we are calling this project done. And I'm pretty happy with the way it came out. You know, it's a nice little display. And Sue could put it on her nightstand web. And if you ever want to you could turn Howdy's head in here with this little knob. You could lift him out of here. So pretty happy with the way it came out. All scrap material around here. And but it's something that I think she'll enjoy, just looking back at things like that. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this little project. It was a little something different, and thanks so much for tuning in. Take care. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.